What's up, guys? What's up? Mr. John is here. Let's discuss something very important, okay? I want to know, has somebody ever had the time to explain to you about the candidate performance report? That's what I want us to discuss today. The candidate performance report. This is a document issued by the Board of Nursing when an Nclex test taker faced the exam. Okay. And why is it important that you go through this document to analyze and look at the areas that you are lacking so that you work on your preparation? Let me know if someone has actually taken time to explain to you this document. This is what we are going to see today. So this video is for Nclex retesting. Even those who are taking it for the first time, you will have to understand in this video how the Nclex is called. I made a video about the test plan. Go check it out. I will be mentioning briefing about the test plan here. I will go further to explain how how the Nclex determines if you have failed or you've passed. This video is very, very important. Like I said, especially for Nclex retest takers. So in this video, I have a compilation of 3 copies of the candidate performance report. We are going to see this candidate performance report and you will see the scoring. And from there, I will explain to you how you have to use this document and prepare for your next test taking. Let's look at scenario 1 here. Case 1, look at this document. This is the result of somebody who failed the Nclex. If you haven't gotten one, if you failed the Nclex, get to your Board of Nursing. I think they send automatically to your portal. You can log into your portal and you download it there. You will see how you performed in your Nclex. It gives below passing standard, near passing standard, and above passing standard. It doesn't give you the percentage. Remember, the Nclex is not a percentage scoring exam. It is a computerized adaptive test CAT. It has a system, it has a way that it's called. I'm going to explain in this video. But let's look at this document. If you watch the video I made the other time about the test plan, you will see that I made mention of the various categories of the Nclex. Let's look at it in the next slide. They will come back here. Look at the test plan here. I told you it is divided into safe and effective care environment, which is further divided into management of care. It has almost the highest percentage of the exam, 15 to 21%. Safety and infection control, 10 to 16. Health promotion and maintenance, 16 to 12. Psychosocial integrity, 6 to 12. Physiological integrity, which has basic care and comfort, 6 to 12. Pharmacology, parental therapies, 13 to 19 is the second after management of care. In that video, I explained to you what each of these contain. Check that video and watch it out. You have reduction. So when you are preparing, you have to make sure that you cover all of these areas. This is also the other reason I have a video I'm preparing to make why you have to read all the areas of the Nclex. You cannot focus on one area and prepare, no. The way the Nclex determines and brings out the question for you, you can't tell. I will explain when we move further in this record. Let's go back to this. So this candidate under coordination of care, that is management of care, This candidate was below the passing standard. Safety and infection control, below passing standard. Look back here. Management of care has 15 to 21% of your exam. Safety and infection control has 10 to 16% of your exam. And this candidate already scored below passing standard in these two areas. Health promotion and maintenance, below passing standard. Psychosocial integrity, below passing standard. Basic care and comfort, near passing standard. Pharmacological therapies, below passing standard. Let's look at pharmacological and parental therapy, 13 to 19% of your total exam. And this candidate is having below passing standard. Physiological adaptation, below passing standard. Recognition, recognized cues, below passing standard. Analyze care, near passing standard. And it continues up to evaluation outcome above the passing standard. When you look at this, you know that you were nowhere near passing the Nclex. From this candidate performance report, the candidate has to sit down and look at areas of concentration. Let's look at case number 2. Management of care, below passing standard. Safety infection control, below passing standard. Health promotion and maintenance, near passing standard. Psychosocial integrity, below passing standard. How many below passing standard do you have here? And you have near passing standard, 1 near passing standard, 2 near passing standard. From this, you see that this candidate has a lot to do when you're going in for your next Nclex. This is when you sit down and you work. Let's look at the third case here. This candidate has 1, 2, 3, 4 below passing standard, 5, 6, 7. The candidate has above passing standard under take action, above passing standard evaluation outcome, near passing standard as prioritization hypothesis, near passing standard at basic care and comfort. How many percentage score does this one have? It has 6 to 12%. Clinical judgment, near passing standard. So there are important areas here. If you have below passing standard at coordinated care and pharmacology, it's high chances that you will fail because these areas, they carry the highest percentage of the Nclex exam. This is very important. This is just some samples of the CPR form. You have yours. Go get yours and analyze. If you want to talk one-on-one with me, you can get in contact and let's analyze and we talk on the areas you have to lay emphasis. Check out the video I made on how to prepare for the Nclex. You have to apply all the techniques I gave in that video in cooperation with your CPR and the test plan, and you know how to prepare for your exam. Let's use this video to explain how the Nclex is called, how it determines whether you pass or you fail. Now, the Nclex is a CAT exam. It's not a traditional standard percentage score exam that you do in nursing school, where everybody takes the same items of question. Question 1, everybody is answering question 1. Question 2, everybody is answering question 2. Even if the question and mix or your question 2 is different, at the end, you guys are answering the same question. And it is called determined by how many you pass. This is not how Nclex is called. Okay? Nclex questions, they are selected from a pool of items to test the candidate minimum skill that the candidate can provide the basic and safe care. How it determines the first question, nobody knows. It picks out a question from a pool of thousands of questions. This first question is enough to determine your minimum skill of care. The question comes out and you answer this question. It is from this question that the next question is determined. Now, let me say something. If you pass the first question, it takes it from any topic. The system determines that you have exercised, you have shown that you are able to provide care as far as this area is concerned. It goes to another topic, picks any question. Whatsoever question that it picks, it has the chances that you have 50-50 chances of determining if you will pass or you will fail. When you fail, the system might want to test you back in the previous topic or the previous question that you passed. This is my personal observation from various questions I've answered over and over when I was preparing for the Nclex. If you have a question bank that you have enough CAT assessment to do, take notice when you are answering question. When you answer question 1, 2, 3, when you come to review, look at the pattern, how you were scoring, and the next question that comes up, you will be able to figure out something. But let's look at the main call of this video, how it determines that you have passed or you have failed. Number one, it has what they call the 95% candidate interval rule. 95%, it doesn't mean that you have to score 95% of all the questions to pass. No. It means the computer will stop administering items when it is 95% certain that the candidate ability is either clearly above or clearly below the passing standards. What does that mean? Okay, let's look at something. Let's say this is, sorry, let's take it here. Draw this line. Okay. Now, this line is your passing standard. Let's say you start your question here. You pass the first question, the graph goes up. You pass the second question, it goes up. You fail this third question, it comes down. You pass, it goes up. You fail, it comes down. You fail, it comes there. You fail, it goes down. You pass, it goes up. You fail, it comes down. You pass, it goes up. You pass, it goes up. You pass, it goes up. Say, if you get here, you answer the question, and let's say you have gotten to 85 questions. If this point is your 85 questions, you are above passing standard. If you are at or above, the computer shuts down. It determines that you have passed. But if you were at 85 questions here, the computer determines that you are below passing standard. It shut down and you fail. This takes me to a video I want to make and why your first 3, 4, 5 questions, you passing the first 3 questions is very, very important. It takes your graph above passing standard. It means, sorry, it means your graph is above the passing standard. Whenever you are failing, it's going up and down, you are still above the passing standard. Why? Because your first 3 to 4 questions that you pass helped you a lot. And going to the 6, 7, you're going up and down, you're just playing and going, you are still above passing standard. Let's see where you fail your first 3 questions. It's here. You're here, you fail. Here, you fail. Here, you fail. You need 3 more questions to go up. You pass. You fail. You pass. You fail. You pass. You pass. You fail. You pass. You fail. Can you see what I'm saying? Can you understand what I'm saying? You need to pass, 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 pass to be above the passing standard before determining whether you fail, you pass, you fail, you. Do you get what I'm saying? It is very important for you to strike the first 3, 4 questions. Let's look at point number 2, how it determines whether you pass or fail. Maximum length of the exam. Okay? Now, this is when the candidate ability level is close to the passing standard. Yes, you started answering the questions and you were above, below, above, below, above, below. The computer determines that you are still within. This is when you go above 85 questions. Okay? The computer says, fine, you are still within. You keep answering. You keep answering. At one point, it will still determine the 95% point will still come in. Wherever it determines that you are above passing standard, it will shut down. That's why some people it shut down between 85 and 150. But if it goes up to 150, what happens? It says the computer continues to administer items and consider the final ability to estimate whether you pass or fail. The last question, let's say we're still on point 2, maximum length of the exam. Number 1, if the final ability estimate is at or above the passing standard, the candidate passes the exam. It means if you go up to the 150 question, let's look at this. You are here, you're here, you go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Your last question is here. If your last question is at the passing level, if it stops there, you pass. If the last question goes below here, you fail. If your last question is here or here, you pass. But if the last question is below passing standard, you fail. So when you are above 85, be careful. Your last question is very important and you don't know when your last question will come. If you're at 149, your 150th question is very important. It can determine you to fail or to pass. But what happened? The last question doesn't necessarily mean you fail or pass, even if you fail the last question. Let's see. Why? If, let's say, if you were here, up, down, up, down, up, 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 down, up, down, up, down. Okay? This is your last question. You fail your last question. Where are you? You were above the passing standard. Whether you fail the last question or you pass the last question, that's why they say the few questions that you answer, it will determine if you were above the passing standard for you to pass or to fail. Meaning maybe you pass the last 2, 3 questions and your graph was above the passing standard and you fail the last one, you still pass. If your graph was above, even if your graph was below, let's say, let's put was below, and then your last question is your last chance, and it takes you back to the line, to the passing standard, you pass. You pass. Point, the second point under the maximum length of the exam. If the final ability estimate is below the passing standard, the candidate fails. You fail. That's it, like what I just said here. If it is below, you fail. That's it. Number 3, run out time rule. You answer your question and your computer shuts down. Even when you got into 85 question or you finish the 150 or not, your computer shut down. How does it determine if you pass or you fail? If the candidate runs out of time before reaching the maximum number of items and the computer has not determined with 95% certainty whether the candidate has passed or failed, number 1, there are alternatives. It looks at number 1. If the candidate has not answered the minimum number of required items, you fail automatically. Meaning, if the computer shuts down when you've not gotten up to 85 questions, you fail automatically. But let's say if the computer shut down when you are above 85 questions, the same rule applies here. If at last the maximum number of items were answered, then the final ability estimate will be based on all responses given before the exam time expired. If the score is at or above the passing standard, the candidate passes the exam. If it is below, the candidate fails. So, back here. If you were answering the question, this is your graph. Up, down, up, up, down, down, up, down, up. You come down, you fail, you go up, you fail, you go up, you come. Oh, sorry, this thing. Not trying to, it's my razor. Come on here. This on sharing is not giving my razor. I'm clicking, it's not giving this fucking crazy. Oh, sorry, my word. Okay, let me do it here. Don't mind me. So this is it. It goes up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Your computer shut down here. You will pass. If you are above 85, at that point, it was still determined that you are still in the game, but the time out, the time runs out, right? The 5 hours runs out, you will pass. But if there is time out and you were below passing standard, you fail. Okay? Number 1, if you run out of time and you've not gotten up, you've not answered 85 questions, you fail automatically. But if you run out of time, don't bother. The system will determine. If you were above passing standard, you will pass. If you were below passing standard, you will fail. Now you understand what I mean by below passing standard and above passing standard, and why You need to pass the first 2 to 3 questions to keep your graph above the passing standard. I cannot overemphasize on this. This is the best thing you need to know. Okay. So, guys, we've come to the end of this recording. I hope it helped you. And yeah, if you have any question, ask me, and I'll be more than happy to explain to you guys. This is your boy. I'm here always getting you beautiful stuff, giving you tips. I want you to pass the exam, pass it once and for all, once and for all. That's it. You must and you will pass the Nclex. Thank you.